For my underdogs, the ones willing to pay the cost. Even when we're up, we gotta take a loss. Underdogs are always against the odds. I'ma use this opportunity to do it for my underdogs. I'ma do this for my underdogs. I'ma do this for my underdogs. I'ma do this for my underdogs. Yeah, my underdogs.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Rec Center Podcast. I'm Kenny Edwards, joined as always with my co-host Lorenzo Parham. What's going on, man? Wait, well, ain't no hood. Like, I like that.
Ain't no hood like fatherhood, man. Hey, man. I done came through a lot of different hoods, man. I ain't met one like it yet, Ken, man. Hey, the shirt of the day is ain't no hood like fatherhood, right?
I didn't even notice it when we was talking at first.
We got a great guest on, man, and we go break down his fatherhood thing and his journey with his pops and everything like that. I'm excited, Ken. Excited. One, we had a great episode with Chris Dixon last week.
Yeah.
Brought back a lot of Oakland Babe Ruth memories, right? So this next guest we got on, Ken, I'm going to be honest. I'm excited to hear his story because I don't know it, right? When he was coming through doing his thing, I just heard the name when I was on way to college, right? Yeah. And then my boy, shout out Jamal Hill. When Jamal Hill was at Arizona State, he came up to me like, bro, man, we got Tim coming through on a recruiting trip this week and all of this shit, right? And Jamal Hill, my guy. So I'm like, hey, man, we got some Oaklanders out there for a minute. Yeah. Me, Maul Hill, T-Time came there. Then Darnell Henderson came there and played football. Yeah. Like, we was grooming something. You know, I was proud, but I ended up leaving, as you know, Ken, before this guy got here. So I'm excited to hear his story. I want to hear the whole family breakdown of the athleticism that was in their family, because what you might not know, Ken, is T-Time got a brother named Tamarick, right? No, and my brother used to coach him in baseball, right? I didn't know that. And Lil Tamarick, Ken, on T-ball, I'm like, hey, this little kid is raw, right? I'm talking about hella fast around the bases, getting everybody out in the outfield. He had it, right? We're going to have to talk about the family history of athletics and every time, man. So, hey, Tim, Mr. T-Time, welcome to the podcast, my brother.
Hey, man, I'm glad to be here. I watch you guys show every time you post it. And everybody been asking me, T-Time, when you getting on? I'm like, whenever they send me that message, man, you know, I ain't got no choice but to slide up in. So, yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on.
Man, we gonna have to dive in this, man, because we got a lot to cover, from the OEL to the transfer and to your pops, man, who, you know, everyone say, like all the rest of the pops we talk about in here, man, was a real stable in your life and some of the things that you did. And then we got to talk about that Arizona State thing and how you chose Arizona State. And then the last thing we always talk about with our hoopers on here at T-Time is our top 25 list. Did you get a chance to check out our top 25 list?
Nah, I didn't see y'all. I didn't know y'all made one. I didn't see y'all's. I seen everybody else's though.
I'm gonna send it to him.
Right, you can't send it to him now, Ken, because he on his phone. But we gonna read the names off to you.
Send it to my email. I still got the laptop. Just send it to my email.
I'm gonna send it to the email.
Yeah, send him the laptop. So why can't get that together, T-Time, man? What rec center you grew up playing at, or was the rec center not a big thing as you was coming up because AAU was so heavy? Like, what rec center did you grow up playing in?
Nah, see, when I was coming up, AAU wasn't heavy like that. Like I played, I played for my dad in CYO at St. Cyril's. At the time, it was called St. Cyril's.
I remember St. Cyril's.
And then I played for Coach Howard Gamble at Brookfield. So I grew up playing under Coach Howard and then my dad. And so they taught me early. It was like, basically, you need to score. If you can see the rim, shoot the ball. Because I remember Coach Howard, they were always telling us that, man. If you can see the rim, let it fly. So that's where my scoring started from a little kid playing for Coach Howard, playing for my dad. They always looked at me, man, you ain't out here to pass or do none of that. You out here to get a bucket. So that's where it all started from, early age.
Were you taller than the rest of the kids back then, or did you get a growth spurt late in the game? Like,
nah, see what I tell people, and people think I'd be lying. I tell people all the time, man, I used to be like a little short and like kind of like a little chubby, not fat, but like a little built kid. Because like I tell people, when I played for the Oakland Saints, I remember Pee Wees. They tried to put me at offensive guard. So they ain't gonna put no skinny tall kid on offensive guard.
Right.
So yeah, so I told him like, nah, I'm not playing no guard. I need to touch the ball. So I ended up playing fullback, and Giannis Davis was the running back behind me.
CeeLo, Tim don't know this, but I've been watching Tim since Greenman, because Tim came up with CNS, and now they was right after us at Pizza Hut, at Leader Pointer. He was with Don and all of them, and
Antoine,
you don't know, but Tim don't know. Tim used to wear goggles.
I could, because I
Tim used to wear goggles.
Like
Tavion, like Tavion, and his dad would do soft toss on the side. And that's when I first found out about Tim and his dad's work ethic. And then I was surprised you said Brookfield though, because I knew you from Rainbow. When your dad would put the golf ball in your hand.
Yeah, that was like later, but like when I first, because my dad and Coach Howard was real close. So I grew up playing under Coach Howard because he had his son Lil Dante. So we grew up playing together. So I used to be at Brookfield a lot, but also at Rainbow because I stayed like a block away from Rainbow. I grew up in the seminary area. Gotcha. So always, if I wasn't at practice at Brookfield, I was always at Rainbow. I was in one of the two gyms, either Rainbow or Brookfield.
Okay.
So that's how I know all those guys over there. They know me. I grew up playing there. And then basically Rainbow was around the corner and where I'm from. So grew up always playing there with all the OGs.
So were you a student? Were you a student at
Tim West?
Yep.
Thank God. Tim West had a brother named Dale West. And I used to play with Dale West, Hooper, and he's at Rainbow. We played at Frick together.
Okay.
What middle school you went to, Tim?
So I went to Bret Hart. I was at St. Cyril's in the 5th grade, and then I went to Bret Hart Middle School from the 6th through the 8th.
Hey, Ken, I let you know how old I am, right? Because Tim said Bret Hart Middle School.
You didn't even know.
No. It was called Bret Hart Junior High School when I was there, right? To him, it's Bret Hart Middle School, man. Tim, when you was at Bret Hart Middle, did y'all have some of them legendary battles with Edna Brewers and Monteras and Claremonts?
Now, when I was there, it was my 6th grade year, my 6th and 7th grade year, I played for a coach, probably one of the best coaches that I ever played for in my life, because he didn't care how much I scored. He just wanted me to play defense, Coach Roy Brown. I know you remember him.
Coach Brown.
Every time he see you, he say your whole name. He'd be like, "Hey, Tim Pierce."
Right.
So, but not Edna Brewer wasn't that good. The battles we had was with I had battles with Montera, because I always played up until my 8th grade year. So I used to play against Mike Scott and those guys. And then my 8th grade year, we battled with Lowell against Kellogg.
Mm.
Yeah. And then our coach ended up, like our 8th grade coach, like that was the first year that they had like a championship for middle school. But our coach, I don't know, we had one day of practice, and then we were supposed to come back to the next day of practice, and the coach never showed up, never sent the email or cars. Wow. So they just canceled our 8th grade team. So I basically didn't play 8th grade middle school sports.
Did your dad try to step in and take over that 8th grade team, or were they not going to be able to let him do it?
Nah, because my dad coached me in the CYO team for St. Cyril's.
Okay.
So it was me, Quentin Thomas. We had Scooter, who ended up going to Fremont, Rashe, who ended up going to Tech with Q. My guy Jordan Neal, Freddie Tillman. Like we had a solid 8th grade team. Nobody, like one player went to St. Cyril's though. So we ended up winning the Diocese championship. So it was all good. But everybody always talked, man, I remember your dad came out in an all-white suit with all the gold chains.
Hey, that's a kind of that lineup is too loaded for CYO, right?
My son, it was bad. It was bad.
My son goes to St. Leo's, right, and they in the CYO too. But when you gotta play AAU, it's totally different type of ball player that's playing there, right? There is no give a hug after each play type of thing in AAU. So I tell him like, hey, dude, if you ain't dominating CYO, you might not be ready for this yet, right? So I can imagine that lineup y'all had. Like if I'm a coach, I'm protesting. He don't go to this school.
Hey, what's crazy? People try to, but now I see it. Like when I look back on, I'm like, damn, Pops was doing this recruiting stuff like way before people was really recruiting for AAU teams. So I'm like, because basically if you stayed near the Catholic school or went to school near that Catholic school, you can play for that Catholic school.
Mm.
And then, these Pops was using addresses and everything. So Pops was finding loopholes. I'm like, damn, Pops was really smart about like getting his players. I'm like, Pops is a real life born recruiter.
Hey man.
Yeah, CYO is like Young America, and AAU is like Babe Ruth.
Yeah, you get little thing. Hey, if you can't dominate this, like if you ain't batting left-handed on Young America, don't try that Babe Ruth, right? You do everything you want in Young America, right?
Yeah.
Hey, but so Tim, let's get to your dad helping being a stable recruit AAU program on you coming to Fremont. How did you end up at Fremont? Was it like a thing your dad wanted you to go to off the dribble, or was it something like, man, after your 8th grade year, y'all put together a team like, hey, let's go play for? Who was the coach at the time? Frank Knight? Was Frank Knight there when you got there?
Nah, Clint Williams.
Clint Williams was still there. Okay.
Yep. So I knew I was going to Fremont probably. What was that? My dad used to like come get me from school and go straight to Fremont games no matter where they was. Like I was going since Frank Knight was playing. So that was what, 94, 95?
Yep, 94,
Yeah, because for a long time I thought your dad was an assistant coach for Fremont.
Nah, Pop.
That's how much he was there.
Assistant coach.
Yeah.
When I was there, he just always sat on the bench. Like his little board that he used to write on. Yeah. It was like my shot chart. Like that's all he was writing was my shot chart. Like let me know what I shot, let me know my points and everything like that. That's all that was in his book. But yeah, he wasn't. But nah, like I used to go to every Fremont game. So since '95, I was 9 years old. So I knew I was going to Fremont, point blank period. Like I met Coach. He used to take me in and watch him practice. I knew all the coaches. I knew everybody around. So I already knew once I finished 8th grade, I was going straight to Fremont. And he told me, he was like, yeah, if you get put on JV or anything like that, it's over. Like he said it, like start varsity as a freshman or you're done. Point blank period.
Wow.
Or if you're not starting as a freshman on varsity, we're gonna find something else to do.
Wow.
Talk about expectations.
When
I went in there, like the summer I went in there, because after 8th grade year, they had, high school summer league was big, and we went to Fresno to play. And Kellogg was with me too. Kellogg was with me because at first he was coming to Fremont too. Yeah, so he went out there like the first game we played. I think it's Clovis West. Like I'm getting hit with back screens. They running me off pick and rolls. Like I'm getting destroyed defensively. Like. And I'm like, damn, my man got about 12 points. We're only 6 minutes in the game. Like, what's going on? I can't guard nobody. I'm like, damn, this is what high school gonna be like. But like Coach Clinton, like they just letting me learn. But I'm still able to score and get buckets and stuff like that. But defensively, I'm probably like 135, no muscle, skinny, because that summer's when I hit my growth spurt. So like I'm getting like this, it was a struggle. But I mean, it helped me out by the time the season came for my freshman year, though, for sure.
Hey, what was that off season? You talked about that part, right? And that's playing games and AAU and stuff during that. But what was your own mentality when it wasn't no games and have to work out with the expectation that if you don't play varsity starting your freshman year, you're about to go play wide receiver next year type of thing? What was that in the gym mentality for you to work out with?
Well, at first I was like, he ain't gonna make me stop playing basketball if I don't play. But like he kept saying it and saying it and saying it. So I'm like, shit. It's serious now. Like it ain't no more. Like he asked me, he like, what you want? like we're at the time, what you want to do. You're going to play, because you need to get serious about one or the other. So you're going to play basketball or you're going to play football. So you got to choose one, like point blank period. So I'm like, well, I choose basketball because I love basketball. You know, I like shooting long jumpers. I tell people all the time, I was shooting these Steph Curry threes before he came out here shooting these long range. That was me.
That's fine.
Everybody knew me from shooting a long range shot. But so yeah, after that, I said basketball. So he like, you got to work. So like days I wanted to go kick it with friends or chill, I was at Rainbow. I was at Brookfield. Like he worked security guard at Lowell. Like it'll be an off day at school, but you know, if you work on staff, you still got to go to the school. He'd take me to work with him. And I remember one day I went to Lowell. He was at work from 9 to 3. I was in Lowell gym from 9 to 3.
Just
like
hooping.
just hooping in there by myself. Nobody's coming in here. Come in, check. You okay? He brought me some lunch, like some McDonald's and a drink. All right, I come back and get you when I'm off.
Are you emulating anybody at this time, or are you like, I'm gonna design my own game? Because I remember when I was young, my dad used to do little stuff like that too, and I would always emulate somebody else though.
No, I wasn't really trying to emulate nobody. Like my favorite player was Penny Hardaway, but Penny Hardaway wasn't really like, his game wasn't a shooter. My game at that time was a shooter. Like that's what I did best, was shoot threes, shoot deep threes. So I'd be in the lower gym that day or any day, just shoot super jumpers, long jumpers. Or if I was with my dad, like I remember one time I was at Rainbow and they was I forgot who. I think Jerry Hayes, his team Bulldogs, was practicing. My little cousin, little brother, little Bob, he was practicing with Jerry's team. So I just had 3 cheers on the side. You know, Rainbow small.
Yeah, real small.
So
yeah.
I'm just doing spin moves up and down at every cheer. And I got so dizzy, I spin and like fell into the wall because I'm just doing spin moves. Like an hour worth of spin moves though. Just in and out spin move, in and out spin move, in and out spin move. Get to the end, come back. Like people just looking like, dang. But they looking at like, why he training his son like that? Why he doing his son like that? Because like he knew. And I'm thinking the same way, like, why I got to keep doing this? But if I would have known what I know now, then I would have took it, you know, I would have took it way more serious. Like he trying to get me better and things of that sort. Because, you know, game with the game of basketball, the more you work on the game, the more you work on your game, the better you're going to get.
Right.
So Tim, going into Fremont as a freshman year, right? Your freshman year playing varsity, what was Fremont team like though? Like, cause they heyday had kind of fizzled out a little bit at 99, and then you come in trying to bring it back, right? But what was it like for y'all that freshman year, and what was the OAL like your freshman year?
So I had been watching OAL games like my whole life, and was like, man, this is crazy. Like the gyms, like the crowd cheers, they cussing in the cheers. Like it's serious. Like I done seen fights break out where they fighting on the court during the game. Like I'm like, man, I really gotta do some self-searching and be ready for this. So going into it, I'm like, well, everybody was on, because when I played varsity, everybody heard, because I remember we played our second game with my freshman year, starting varsity, we played against Modesto Christian. They had Chuck Hayes. Did they end up winning state that year?
I think so. Chuck Hayes and the dude went to
Cal.
Yeah,
and I know they was ranked like top 5 in the country, and that was just our second game. So I was here in the chit chat. Oh, we're gonna see what this freshman gonna do now. We're gonna see if he really like that. And I ended up having like 22 points that game, and like that basically just I told myself, man, if I can hoop with them, I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
So, but going into the OEL, like our team was okay. Like we had, I think, 2 returning players from the Fremont Glory years. We had like Johnny Jones and Ahmad Fudge.
Okay.
Ahmad Fudge was raw. Like he was tough. Like he was the man my freshman year on the team. Like I was looking at him like I used to play him like every day 1-on-1 to try to prove like I'm better than you, bro. You're not better than me. I'm better than you. I need to be shooting all the shots, not you. But I never beat him. I never, like that whole freshman year. Like we played, like I try to play him every day after practice. I never beat him though. but like he ended up killing but we didn't have a good team. Like we start off with a good team, but grades come out, and then people have different things going on in their life, and then I think we ended the season with only 7 players.
And Clint is still the coach at this time?
Yeah. Clint finished the year. But I think we only won two games. I think we won 2-8. It was a struggle. My first game was against McClymonds at Fremont, packed out gym. And remember, I was still I was 6'3", 6'4". I wasn't my 6'7" yet. So I had to match up with CG.
Ooh.
As my
so your freshman year was 01.
Yeah, his senior year. So I had to match up with him. I think I ended up having 20, 22 points, but we ended up going to overtime. So we up 3, and everybody knows that CG is getting the ball, and they run a simple out of bounds play. They put 3 people at the free throw line, and he just run across all and just catch and shoot, and we're up 3. So I'm going out of bounds. I'm telling people CG's gonna run off and catch and shoot. This is the only out of bounds play they run. He somehow gets open and makes it on all 3 people, and then they end up winning in overtime. But yeah, I got welcomed to the OAL. I had to guard him. I think he had 33 that game. I caught an elbow. I got dunked on. I got welcomed to the OAL for sure that game.
Now, growing up, watching Fremont through their glory years, and then your freshman year, y'all don't do so well. Are you man, what the hell? Or what are you thinking at this time? Is it disappointing?
Nah, it wasn't disappointing. It's what I think is I needed it because growing up, whatever team I played for, we won. I had never been on a losing team and stuff like that. And then so coming up, I think I needed it. If we'd have won my freshman year, I'm can't nobody tell me nothing. I ain't really got to work on my game like that no more. I just come out and do what I do. But it was bad. So I think I really needed that because that summer, that 9th grade summer, I went, it turned me way up. It turned me way up.
So, but so you come in your freshman year, you walk into basically a star-studded OAL, right? Where it's actually gunners at all these schools. I think you got P40. He in his senior year.
Nah,
right?
P40 gone. P40 gone.
Oh, P40 gone the year before. Okay, yeah. but Tech got they guys.
Oh
right?
yeah, Tech loaded Mondo, Deuce, Leon, DeMarche Q, Theo Ticket. They had a couple other players too. Yeah, they was loaded.
Then you got CG. He's over there at Mac, and then Kellogg goes to Mac. Oakland High got Allende there, right?
Yeah. You got Allende. You got Big Isaiah.
Tone Parker.
Antonio Parker.
Darius Parker. Antonio was gone.
Okay.
You got B. Price, Brian Price. Who else they had? They had somebody else too.
So coming in your freshman year, or mainly most of your OEL career, it wasn't no slacking. You had to bring it every game in with the guys you played against.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Every year you had to. Not every year, but every game in the OEL, you couldn't go into an OEL game, especially when I played. This is gonna be an easy victory. Because if you go in like that, you're going to get humbled real quick.
Yeah, I remember just watching Sports Focus during that time, and it was TP would have dunked, then Tone Kellogg would have dunked, and then it'd be somebody else that maybe wasn't hella good as a basketball player, but they was athletic, then they'd come with a dunk, and it was damn, it was bad.
But on top of that, TP, tell me if I'm wrong, man, and correct me, man. What was the night like? Because I had to do some investigation. And I seen you drop 51 on Encinal. What was that night like? Did you miss with everything? Was everything just going in?
I'm I can't I can't score 51 on 2K.
Hey, so what's crazy? That was a big week because we had 3 games that week, and I had 50 in all 3.
Your freshman year?
No. This is my
No.
senior year.
No.
When I left.
Oh, I was like, God damn.
Nah. Like I didn't start going crazy on scoring until my 10th grade year. But what you talking about? I think we played Alameda that Monday, and I had 50. We played Pinole Valley that Wednesday, I had 50, and then Encinal that Friday, and I had 51 in 3.5 quarters.
Hey, so you said earlier how you was the Curry before it wasn't Curry with the deep shots, right?
Yeah.
And you jacking from 3-pointers, right? Was that shit just everything just landing that week?
Man, it was just, man, I don't know what it was, because that season, that's when they took, like, in the middle of the season, we had to forfeit all our games at Hercules.
Hold on. So before we get into that, hold on. Let's back up. Let's back up to the more OEL because I'm gonna get to the transfer. I jumped ahead.
I definitely got to hear why and how.
No, so I got too excited on seeing 51. I need to know how, but I don't want to jump the gun too much, right?
And then 3 straight games of 50.
So let's get back until you're going into your sophomore year. Is this when Frank Knight take over, or is it still Clint?
No, it's so Clint. I don't know if he quit, he got fired. So my dad, he was kind of talking. He was like, so what you want to do? Do you want to stay? Because I don't know who the coach gonna be, or do you want to go somewhere else? I'm like, well, I'm here I'm good here at Fremont. I don't want to leave the OEL. And at that time, I don't think, like, if you try to transfer to another school in the OEL, what I was hearing, like, you had to sit out a year, and I didn't want to sit out hooping, so I'm like, I'll stay. And like a couple weeks later, he like, yeah, we think Frank Knight gonna get the job. I'm like, cool, Frank Knight played here, so it's gonna be solid. Because when I looked at Frank, I'm like, he should be a player coach. He should let me play how he played when he was in high school. So I'm like, that'd be perfect. So he ended up getting the job, and then that summer going into my 10th grade year, like, this is my, like, first time playing on like the circuit AAU, to where, like, I'm playing with the Soldiers. So, like, they put me on Soldiers 3. So I'm kind of feeling disrespected, like, but I understand, like, everybody Soldiers, you know, big names, players playing varsity, making first teams and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, I respect it. So I'm playing, but I play varsity as well. I went second team all OEL, so I'm thinking, shit, at least put me on Soldiers 2. So I'm on Soldiers 3. So we playing in the same tournaments that everybody else is playing in. But I'm averaging like 35, 40 though. Like, I'm not passing nobody. Like, you guard me, you get in the bucket. Like, you got a ranking and you playing against me, like, you probably don't want to play against me. Because I'm coming out, like, I'm coming at everybody's head. Like, I feel disrespect. You gotta put me on Soldiers 3. I just played varsity in the OEL. And I gotta play Soldiers 3. I'm playing, like, and the people on my team, like, they played JV at their high school, they played freshman teams. I'm like, come on, man, this is disrespectful. So I just went hard, and I ended up getting pulled up at the end of the year. We went to big time and stuff. So I mean, so it all worked out. But then going into my sophomore year, yeah, it was on.
Hey, man, so what was the relationship like with you and Frank when he became? Was he that player coach you talked about, or was he like a Clinton Jr. type of thing?
Nah, he was that player coach. He was that player coach that I needed. Like, playing for Frank Knight. Like, I think he just let me go. So he's basically just put me out there. Go do what you do. Show what you got. And I think me playing for him is what made me go from, like, people just in Oakland knowing who Tim Pierce was to me, like, the whole Bay Area knowing who I was, playing for him. Because he seen what I had, and he just let me go. Now,
is that the year you went off against De La, or are we still jumping ahead? Are we getting too excited?
Nope. So that game against De La is what put me on. Is what got me to ABCD camp.
Okay, because I'm like, what did you score? How much did you score?
Hold on, yeah, fill me in. What happened with the De La Salle game?
Oh. Because, you know, Coach Knight, I don't think he used to coach there. He used to do something at De La. So we got that game. Yeah, so we went to play that De La. and I had 41, and it was I think it was the most points scored ever at De La.
No. When I was in high school, teams didn't score 41 against De La.
But yeah, so I went for 41. And like I remember the next day, because we played on a Saturday. That next day, like 8 a.m. Like people's calling my cell phone. Like, you had 41? Like, it's because it's in the paper. Like, we lost by like 25, 30. But like the headline is sophomore goes for 41 at De La Salle.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, wait.
So like after that, like I started like that letter start, because I had received no letter from a college, nothing, anything. So basically I'm just good in the city of Oakland. So after that, got invited to ABCD camp. Letters from colleges started coming in. People call me, you had 41, how you do that? But what's crazy, like before that game, like we had played Modesto Christian probably like 3 days before that, had 38. Like I went on it was like a 10-game thing where I had 35 or more points, like my sophomore year.
Dude, so when did you get the name Tea Time? Like, is it like fourth quarter, we down by 5, it's tea time, or like where did that name come from?
So not like I had always had, like Pops used to say it like growing up, but it just like I didn't like, I was kind of embarrassed, like if somebody like gave me a nickname, like somebody said Tea Time or something like that. I was kind of like embarrassed. Nah, just called me Tim, like I'm good. But then like once I get to high school, and then Pops got me he got me some Tea Time socks.
I remember that.
So in the Tea Time, what was crazy, I used to be selling the Tea Time socks at the school for 10.
Hey.
I love it.
Ken,
I love it. It's
Ken,
the first big baller brand.
Ken, I am selling my son right now because I haven't gave him a nickname yet that he gonna run with all the way through, right?
Now that's like my guy. I was talking to my guy Tyreek like 2 weeks ago. He was like, man, man, your dad seen stuff like how everybody got their own brands now. He was like, your dad gave you your own brand back when people wasn't even thinking about that. I was like, that, and when I sit around, I'm like, dang, like even with the recruit, I'm like, you can see how Pops is all like, his brain was way in the future, and he was trying to show me early, because everything that people doing now, Pops was doing that for me back in the day.
Yeah, he was ball before ball. Like Pops, you walk in the gym, Pops gonna let you know who Tim Pierce is.
Yeah. I see people all the time. He was like, they was like, oh, you big hand, son, huh? I was like, yeah. He was like, man, every time I seen, he stayed talking shit like how good his son was. Yeah. So we had to just come see for ourselves. Like, his son can't be that good. You know, shit.
Hey, so one of these questions. I mean, we know Tech star-studded during your years going there, but who was your rival? Like when y'all played, like, man, you know what? I gotta beat this team. I don't give a damn what happens. Even if I don't beat them, I'm going for 40. Who was that for you in the OEL?
Now it wasn't like I really didn't have no rival, but I know I just always wanted to go compete. Like I never wanted to go into leave a game and it's like somebody be like, yeah, I locked him up. Like, nah, I think that probably happened one time in the OEL where I got locked. And
who locked you?
Get a shot off, huh?
Who locked you? Allende?
No, Deuce got me.
I could see that.
Sophomore year.
I could see that.
Deuce got me. Like he was just too strong for me that game. It was at Fremont too. I had 9 points. Like that was a struggle game, and he got the best of me that game. I was that will never happen again. This
is you at 6'3", 6'4" though, right?
No, I'm like 6'5", but I'm still skinny, shiny kid. But I'm jumping, I'm dunking, because my 9th grade year I couldn't dunk, but my 10th grade year, like I'm dunking on people, it's the full game coming out, and he had my number that day. But the next time we played, I wasn't going now.
So hold on, did he go for the challenge the next game as well?
Oh yeah, he guarded me the next game. The next game I had 38.
Did he lock you down, or did they just have a good game plan? Like, hey, you guard Tim out here, and if Tim drive by you, we got Leon standing right here.
Now, if you watch Deuce, like the way he played defense, like he's wide. He's long defensively,
yeah. And big chested.
And he was strong enough at that time to get up in me, and I wasn't stronger than him, so I really couldn't. And I didn't at that time. Nobody guarded me like that. And then he got that Oakland, and Oakland is different. So he's like, yeah, he's clapping. So I'm trying to do extra, and I got to work super hard to get the ball. So it was just like he did everything the right way. Like I still got a lot of shots off, nothing failed. And then if I got past him, you still had Leon down there. So it was. Yeah, so it was a struggle. That was a bad day because I remember, man, Pops ripped me that day after the game. He told me he shouldn't even let. He told me I shouldn't even let you come home. I'm like, oh, it's serious,
man. You gotta love it,
man. I wish we could go back in time and have your dad on the show, man.
I'm telling you, man. Y'all have to do a 3-4 hour show with him and just let him just give y'all the game, man. Just let him just give y'all the game. I'm trying to tell you.
Oh man.
Hey, but Tim, man, one of these questions I ask everybody, everybody shy off from this. Nobody wants to be like getting the extra phone call or the comments under our social media on why Tim called me underrated, man. But Tim, everybody in the OEL we just we cut and dry with this. Everybody in the OEL, some people have a little hype to them, right? Is it anybody walking to the OEL with and y'all play the game was like, hey, man, this dude's supposed to be this. Man, he a little underrated, though, man. Anybody you played against like that in the OEL?
It's crazy because I was just with Allende this morning. He said, he asked me that question. He was like, they going to ask you that. and I'm
a little upset because I called Allende today. He didn't call me back. So I'm a little salty about that.
I'm gonna see him later at Soldier Town. He be at Soldier Town with his team. I'm gonna see him later at Soldier Town today.
But I mean, you gotta throw out some names. I mean, everybody. Nobody really have.
Hey, we can't throw out names because we like the viewership of our show. So they gonna say, "Lo, why you put my name into the mix like that?"
Man, I can't. Let me. I'm trying to think. I can't really.
It's plenty of dudes you don't walk to the gym and be like, all right, I got to get ready for this one, and then you play like, damn, that wasn't really that hard.
Not because like every time because when I walked into a gym or a game, I already felt like I was the rawest on the court. So I wasn't even really looking at somebody like, oh, he better than me. Oh, he got a ranking like that because then nobody really had rankings like that except Leon and Allende coming up. So like everybody else wasn't really no rank. I didn't get ranked till after I left ABCD camp. But it was only one time to where I went into a game and was like, oh yeah, he got a ranking. And nah, he nice, but I feel like I'm better.
Who was that?
That was AAU. Josh Smith played for the Atlanta Celtics.
Really?
Oh, the dunker.
Yeah, so he was the number 1 ranked small forward in the country in my class. And I was like the 5th or 6th rated small forward. So and I always felt like, bro not better than me. But we never, wherever we was at, we never played, we never matched up. And I remember it was right after my my dad passed in June. So I think that I want to say probably like 2 or 3 weeks after that, it was the Rose City Showcase. Like they was out there, Seattle Rotary was out there. Like it was a packed out like good little tournament. And then like but it was just a tournament. Like you win, you're the champion. It wasn't no pool play. It was just like 3 games. So they was in the game under us. So we had to win our first game. So when I see the bracket, I'm licking my chops. And my coach, Mark Olive, he knew I've been wanting him for like I've been wanting this matchup because either you better than me or you better if you better than me, you're gonna have to show it. So we win the first game.
That's real.
And they win. So that night, Mark Olivier like, you got what you wanted. And then he was like, I'm just coming to you right now. He was like, are you mentally prepared to go in this game? Because I know you still dealing with your dad just passing like a month ago. I'm like, nah, Mark, fuck all that. I'm on. I'm ready. So I couldn't sleep. Like, cause at the hotel they had like, it was like sponsored by Mountain Dew. So they got like free little Mountain Dews in the lobby. So I'm up drinking Mountain Dew all night, caffeined up. I'm ready for this matchup. Like, it's on. Game come. But this team is loaded too. They got Dwight Howard, Randolph Morris. They got DeVarge Crennington, Brandon Rush. Yeah. Like, they loaded. So we end up playing. So I had 38. We end up losing by like 8 or 10. But then they end up, but I still end up getting MVP. So it was but that was the only matchup. Like after that, I ended up in the Slam magazine for a little section, Slam magazine. So, but yeah, that was about the only time that I really was going into a matchup. Like, yeah, they say he better than me. Well, we gonna see today.
So after that, you transferred from Fremont your junior year, going into your senior year or your sophomore?
Going to see, and it's a crazy story with that because like during my junior year, like Pops, because this when Mark Olivier was at Hercules, so we had played Hercules early in that year. And I remember my cousin Greedy, R.I.P. Like, he had never seen me play. Like we warmed up. We standing, at Fremont, you got the people come in where we come out for the locker room.
Right. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So and I'm standing in the doorway of the locker room. Greedy come. He like, cuz, what's up? I'm here, man. You better show out. I'm like, and this is first time seeing me play in person. So I'm like, I gotta go crazy. Like, I think we the only game that day because I don't care. Everybody who's anybody is at that game. Like, the game is packed. I'm talking about N.Day, DeMarcus Nelson. Everybody's at this game. So I ended up I think I finished with 44. I had 32 at the half.
That's crazy.
Against who? Against Hercules?
Yeah, Hercules, yeah.
Wow.
Like I had a dunk where basically, like, when you see people get dunked. Wait, is
that the one that's like floating on the internet right now?
Huh?
Is that the dunk that's floating on the internet right now? Where like they ran on the court and everything? Yeah.
Yeah, when people run across the court. Yeah, that one.
Oh, yeah, that was nasty.
Like, the game stopped. People, like, man, it was bad. Like, it was crazy. But it was crazy. I had a better dunk, but we'll get to that during Hercules days. I had a better dunk than that one. But yeah, Pops was wearing he started wearing a Hercules hat. Like, going to Hercules games and stuff, like Hercules hat. So people thought I was, transferring to Hercules. So everybody asked me, you transferring? I'm like, nah, man, I'm here at Fremont. But then me and Pops we had a conversation one day. He was like, I don't know why you keep telling people that you're gonna stay at Fremont. Aren't you getting tired of losing and stuff like that? And I'm like, man, if I'm the man on the team and we not winning, that's on me. I gotta get it done. I'm not about to go play somewhere else just because they won this year. I'm gonna stay where I'm at. If I can't get it done, I can't get it done. So I'm staying. So the year, like, I had a real good year. We lost we got to the playoff play-in game against Allende and them. And then I don't know what happened with Allende, but his coach didn't let him play the first quarter. So like I'm going on. I'm like, oh, they gonna sit out here they about to lose this game. They tripping. So I'm on one. Like, we up, and they come out the second quarter, and they make a call himself. He like, now let's go boxing one. You follow Tim. Every time you get it, we gonna double. I'm like, come on, N-Day, man. You gonna come on, play it straight up. He like, fuck that. We trying to win. So they end up beating us, and that was like the last high school game my dad got to see me play. So then after that summer, close to that summer, he ended up passing, and we just went on from that. And then, you got another question, or do you want me to go into the Hercules thing?
No. So going on with the Hercules thing, your dad wanted you to transfer because y'all was losing, right? But
yeah, because I guess
transferring.
he wanted to see me in the playoff scenario, other than, you feel me, just
the
putting up
NCS
numbers.
joint.
Yeah.
But before you transferred there, Hercules just went to the state championship.
Yeah, they just lost in the state championship.
They just lost in the state championship. So you transfer in there, and it becomes this big old thing about your transferring, right?
Yeah. So what it was, like, people thought like it had something to do with Mark Olive, like getting me to come to Hercules. I was never going to Hercules. I was gonna stay at Fremont. But when my dad passed, I'm like, well, if my dad wanted me to go to Hercules so much, everything that he put into me coming up to being how good I am now, I gotta honor his wishes. So it had nothing to do with Mark. It had nothing to do with nobody. My dad wanted me to go there my senior year, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do what he wanted me to do. Because if he still was living, I was gonna stay at Fremont. I was gonna stay. Like, that's where I wanted to finish. I wanted to play my whole 4 years, but I just followed his wishes and went to. And at that time I was 18 too, so I was basically my own adult. So like, it had nothing to do with Mark, because still people, Mark recruited. Mark told me to stay. Mark told me to stay at Fremont. But I'm like, nah, I'm gonna follow what Pops wanted. So I'm gonna come out there and rock with you.
Who do you feel, because after getting there, like we talked earlier there, you guys forfeit a lot of losses. You had to forfeit some games.
Yeah.
They said Mark, I had to do a reading. They said Mark in that 2-year span had 15 transfers into Hercules, right? Who do you feel tried to, because you got some hate on your side. You got hated on. Who do you feel in the OEL or wherever hated on you transferring? Like, did you think it was a Fremont thing? Because if I'm an Oakland Tech coach and you transferring out of my league, get the hell out of here, bye, go. Right?
Yeah.
So
Like, I know it wasn't Frank, because I'm still cool with Frank. Like, we had a talk, we talked about it and everything. I'm like, I'm following Pop's wishes. Like, he was good with it. He just wasn't gonna play. Like, he just wasn't gonna let us play. He wasn't gonna let me come back and play against Fremont. but I think it had, I don't know, it was somebody at Fremont that I think it wasn't no hate against me. It was hate against Mark. They
Do you
felt
think
like
it was
he was
somebody at
recruiting,
Fremont? Do you think it was somebody at Fremont, or do you think it was somebody at Fremont, or somebody at, like, maybe your dad? Well, no, because Mark ended up coaching your dad. Because Mark was the Soldiers coach and, like, director, right?
Yeah.
And the guys he was recruiting to Hercules was like, these was like top dudes.
They're going to go win NCS.
Yeah. So I'm like wondering, was it like De La Salle? Was it
not? See, if you want to say he was recruiting, then him getting a Leon Poe or Aide Ubak or a big name like that to come in, but he was getting, like, he got his little cousin, his little nephew, Beef, to come from Baltimore, and then he had family who knew kids who were struggling in New York that was like into the street life, that they need to get away, so they came out here and found a family. It wasn't no recruiting. He was helping kids out, like, get their life together. Because if they would have stayed where they was at, their life probably would have ended doing into some street stuff or whatever they was getting into. Like, he wasn't a recruit. If he was recruiting, he would have had the Soldiers as his team at Hercules.
Gotcha.
But I think, it was somebody from Fremont, because remember, I had to go through a hearing. It wasn't no clear transfer. I had to go through a hearing, like, and we had people from Fremont that I thought, like, we was like, I'm a kid playing high school basketball. Why would you try to take that away from me? Like, they was at the meeting, like, but everything was pointing towards Mark. He did this, he did that, he did that. But once I told him, like, you guys know I'm 18 at this moment. I can pick and choose what I want to do myself. And so they lost that case. But I think at Hercules, while we had the forfeit games, I think it came from the kids who was on the team and thought they was going to be their parents.
That makes sense. That happened at Oakland High with football my senior year.
Yeah, so
that makes sense.
Because I don't think like all the coaches that was in the league that I played for out there, like the Richmond coaches, Berkeley High, like they like competition. They like having good basketball games. So having like one of the top players in their league, that's better for the league. So from what I heard, it wasn't them. It was within parents from.
That makes sense to me. That makes because Lo, remember we interviewed Coach Mo. Remember Coach Mo said he interviewed for the Hercules job before Mark. And I forget, I think it was the football coach was talking to him and was like, hey, the parents choose the coach. And then that's what Mo was like, oh, hell no. Because if the parents choose the coach, the parents going to fire. Yeah. So that what Tim's saying makes sense now.
And I can see parents,
Hell yeah. And Hercules? It's like, I thought my son was going to play.
My son waited here for 3 years. I could have transferred him. I could have went to Piazza, right?
Yeah, so, but we was gonna have a good year that year because I think we was ranked, like, before the season started, we was ranked like top 6, I think number 6 in the state because we had a good team. Like, we had me, we had a dude named Deweese, he was from New York. We had a good dude from Detroit named Andre. We had my boy Mike Burton. He's from East Oakland, but he went to school out there. We had a couple young fellas, Devonay. We was a solid team, but it's solely like Deweese. He ended up getting. I think he got in trouble at school, so he got kicked off. And then Andre, they found him ineligible, and then after that, like halfway through the season, we came in. You guys are 0-14 right now. You guys don't run the table. There's no playoffs because you had to be 500.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was all
Tim,
bad.
What did transferring do to your recruiting? Did it help? Did it hurt? Or did basketball, did that not matter? Like what did transferring do with the recruiting?
I think transfer it hurt my McDonald's. Because we were scheduled, like my senior year, we were scheduled for Fremont to go to because my junior year we went to like a big tournament in Vegas where Tech was there with Leon and Q, Oak Hill was there, everybody was there, and we were supposed to go to another tournament at Fremont. But when I transferred, they just switched. So Hercules was gonna go, but the Hercules principal said we couldn't do no out of state tournaments. So that, and I just had a good summer. Like I went All-Star game, ABCD, had a good AAU summer with the Soldiers, and then so that tournament was big because I mean everybody who was the J.R. Smiths, the Rondos, everybody was playing high school at these tournaments. The Josh Smith, the White Howards, the Real Rice, everybody was there. So I think that hurt me.
Hey, so real quick, before we get into college, a little bit of senior year, I got to back up to this OL thing. So my guy Kellogg was on the show with us, and he picked his 5 and put me at a disadvantage with my 5, right? So in his 5, he got Quinn Thomas, Allende Ubaka, Antonio Kellogg, Tim Pierce, and Leon Poe. This is his 5 he picked that was ball players from you guys' era. And said, Lo, you pick your 5 now. That's a hell hard of a 5 to try to beat in OL, right? So my 5, I had CG.
Okay.
Armando Surratt. Keith Wheelwright.
Yeah.
DeMarche Johnson.
Yeah.
And Chris Greens, the other CG out of Castlemont, right?
Okay.
Do we give y'all a game?
Nah, I don't think you do. It's too much.
So me and Ken argue back. There's a lot of social media talk about how this game go.
So who guards Leon?
No. Leon.
That's the question.
That was the X factor. So the X
question.
factor on both of them was Leon and Keith Wheelwright, right? Like,
okay, so you put Keith on Leon?
No. So either way it go from those standpoints, we was kind of on the offensive side, we're not stopping Leon. We can't double Leon because
look, this I'm gonna tell you where you lose. So this leader. So whoever you put Leon, so just put Leon and Keith. Leon wins that matchup, right?
In the post, definitely.
I'm talking overall basketball game. Who wins that matchup?
Nah, I'm going with Keith.
What?
No, listen. If I'm saying like this is what I'm saying, Ken. If we're going with them two, I don't think Leon can stop Keith on the wing. That's just
right. Of course.
Leon can't stop Keith, but 20 feet from the basket, right? But Keith can't stop Leon 3 feet from the basket, right?
Right.
Okay, so you saying they even each other out?
They even out. So the thing was, if I do put Keith on
so
Leon,
then you put Chris Green on me.
And then that's what the lineup was. Chris Green can't guard you.
Yeah, that's like a 30-point
half.
That's a 30-point disadvantage.
and that's where we ran into a thing at.
And then CG's my guy though, but the player that he is, like, he's not a player that gets the ball. He's going to make a move and get a bucket. Like he's going to get an offensive rebound, a tip dunk, or like somebody drop off a pass to him and he'd go up and dunk it.
I would say replace CG with Deuce.
CG Green?
Yeah, Green. Take Green off and add Deuce. Drop DeMarche to the 5.
So basically what you're telling me is Oakland Tech whole 5 is in this lineup then, like on the court. On the court.
Hell of a run.
They're on the court, right? But if I do that, Ken, if I do that, I'm still lose the post battle with Leon.
No, your team's not going to win. There's just not like y'all have to play 7-on-5 or 8-on-5. Like, bro, that first 5 is, bro. You talking about? And I'm going off the top of my head. I think you're going what? North Carolina, UConn, Arizona State,
Cal,
NBA.
Hey. So I hear you. I see you, right? Don't get me wrong.
You gonna raise me 5?
I can't raise you that many. But I am gonna give you. I give you Mondo of Miami and Okay. I give you DeMarche, who was recruited. Ended up having to go to the University of Nevada, Reno, right? CG, where did CG go? Kenjo.
He could have went anywhere, but
he went
junior
college, I think.
Yeah, he went to Skyline Junior College for a minute.
And then we get Keith Wheelwright, who I feel could have went anywhere as well, right?
Yeah.
So that don't really solve my problem right there, Ken. My problem would be, can I stop? If I'm the coach of this, can I stop TP? And the reason I'm trying to stop TP is because Leon shots only go score 2 points. TP might get the threes in there. He might drop a 50 night on me.
But he was putting up Winter Patterson numbers.
An electrifying dunk could change the momentum of the game. But we had it. DeMarche said, and I didn't know none of these guys playing all together, but DeMarche's words was, we will win because our players have better basketball IQ than them other guys.
I disagree.
Then the players that's with me?
Yeah, he said you guys didn't have a smart basketball IQ.
I'm like, Allende is probably one of the smartest players I ever played with.
Like I say in Q, especially Q.
Like right?
High.
Hey, listen to me, man. I'm going off what my brother, the player I picked in my post said. And remember, I don't know any of this. I'm going off what Shay said, and that's just what Shay said. But you can't, if I'm picking a team, and I'm picking my AAU team, I can't really go wrong with any of these guys in a starting 5, right? I'm a coach that I need scores. Go score the basketball, right? Go score. So I'm picking a Tim at 6'7". I'm picking a Keith Wheelwright. Like, y'all gonna go score the basketball, right? As a point guard, I like the Allende facilitating point guard. I love that. I love that shit too, right? But that's the Chris Paul type of Rondo type of thing, right? But when I need a score, I need Allen Iverson.
41 against Daylight.
I need
3
that,
straight
right?
50 points.
I need that, right? So that was one of our things. Another thing you want to talk about. You got your laptop next to you, TP?
Oh yeah. Did you want y'all want to talk about them 350-point games?
We about
Let's
to go
do it.
right.
Why you loaded up? Let's
Why you
talk
loaded
about
up? So what? Hey, what was the defense like when they were trying to guard you?
Was this a
Forget the
scrimmage?
first 50. Forget the first 50. Now it's the second 50. Because if I'm the coach and I'm looking at the box scores the night before, this kid just dropped 50. Okay, cool. I don't know what anybody else had. I don't know if it was a 50 and the next guy got 11. But let me try to stop this guy from getting another 50. And then you score 50 again. What was that second 50-point night like?
Well, we had lost a couple games, so we already knew we wasn't going to the playoffs. So I was like, well, shit, this my last 3, so I might as well just let it all go. So we played Alameda. So I don't know what I'm mad at myself that I thought about this later, because I think I could have averaged more points if I would have thought about this earlier. I just thought about, well, all I need, because I was just trying to get 40. So I was like, just give me 10 points a quarter. I'm like, so that's 2 threes, a layup, and 2 free throws. I should be able to get that every game, how much I shoot. So when I thought about it like that, I was like, so I come out quick, try to give me a quick layup or a fast break dunk or something like that. And when I put it like that, like I'll be starting the fourth quarter with like 42 already. I'm like, oh, this is cake.
Hey,
What was crazy against when we played Encinitas the first time, I don't even think I'm mad nobody filmed that game. I had East Bay funked on somebody.
No way.
Right?
On somebody?
In the game?
On somebody. Like I sent you the post on Facebook, like people wrote, and I think the dude ended up quitting basketball after that.
I would too.
Was it a foul too?
No, they didn't call a foul. So basically, we was in the press. I was at the front of the press. I let the dude go by me, and I reached around and hit it. You know, to reach around, hit it to your teammate. Yeah. So I hit it. In front, it's like the fourth quarter. We up at like 25 already. So I'm like, I'm about to try it. So I hit it. My teammate, Devin A, he threw it to me. So I'm by myself. I'm thinking they're just gonna let me go. So as I jump and put between my legs, I see him at the corner of my eye coming to jump. As I get it, because most of the times I try to, I used to get the ball stuck on my shorts going through the legs, but I get it through my legs and it's in my hand. I'm still jumping up, and I see his arm coming through and he hit my wrist right here. I just dunk it, and when the ball went through, like it was like a 10-second, like the gym got quiet. And then it was like, oh. And I'm surprised y'all didn't hear, like, it was a story around the Bay Area.
Imagine doing that at Fremont, at MAC, or you know what I'm saying? Like in the OAL.
Any OAL game.
My God.
Hey, Ken, so what I'm realizing is it don't matter where you do that dunk at, that player got to quit.
He got to quit. I would have quit, bro. I'd have been like, I'm done.
He got to quit, right?
It took 10 seconds for the crowd to be like, did I see what I just? Did I really?
Did that just happen?
Did that just happen?
It was crazy because I remember we played MAC one. I think it was my junior year, and Tone tried to take a charge. Kellogg tried to take a charge on me, and I kind of cleared him, like jumped over him, but I missed the dunk. I remember he called me later. He was like, man, bro, if you'd have made that dunk, you'd have known I would have had to transfer, right?
Or fire on you or something.
In the OEL, you got to quit. Like, no. Because they gonna say, like, bro, you could at least foul him next time. Don't get dunked on like that, right? Foul him next time, right?
Exactly.
That's crazy. That was a hell of a time, man.
But then again, that 51. So your last game of your high school career was 51 against Encinitas?
Yep, and basically 3.5 quarters.
Hey, that's a hell of a curtain call right there.
I can't even imagine, bro. Like what that feels.
That's a hell of a like me and Ken talk all the time, right? And we talk about the different eras on what it's like, right? Like back when we was in high school, if you had an 18-point night, you did good back then.
Yeah, that was like 35. That was like 35.
You solid. You average 16 a night. You got a bucket, right?
Yeah.
And it's like now 16 a night. It is what it
Yeah,
is.
that ain't
Because I
really
think,
real.
because I think
Cool
we
game.
call Paul Marigny P40, but I think his average was like 23. You know what I'm saying? But it was like
Yes.
23 was like 40.
But he got that P40 from that 40 that he gave
Yes.
that Fremont team that won state. And I think that was they only lost that year.
Yeah, it was 99.
Hey, and remember, he brought that up on our show, and some people tried to downplay his 40 against that Fremont thing.
Man,
You know,
ain't no
they
downplaying
tried to
that.
make it seem like the kid went for 40 in the OEL. That was a hard thing to do.
And
You
won.
know,
Exactly.
And won.
and it upset the team that won state. So that's a hard thing to do, man. So we can't down. But in fact, there's never a time and place that you can downplay 40 points.
No.
You can't downplay 40 points.
Especially in high school, it's an 8-minute quarter.
Hey man, somebody gave up 40. He went for 40. So shout out, but to see players like have 150 point week, like T-Time had 150-point week, like that's going to average 16, but without playing no more games in the season, right?
Bro.
So
that's a hell of a scoring run, dude.
Actually, it does. 150 point.
Like, are you gunning? Are your teammates pissed? Like, this nigga keep hogging, or like, is it in the flow?
Nah,
or like,
see, everybody who played with me, because I always like it was no disrespect to them. I just felt like the shot that I'm taking, I don't
better than
like,
the shot you taking.
Exactly. Like if the game was on the line, like you'll come put the ball in my stomach like T-Time go win this game, take this shot.
Absolutely.
So just because we winning or we up ahead by 20, let's keep that same energy. Still take this shot. Because everybody know I wasn't passing. I wasn't like I tell people all the time. I remember the year that LeBron, the year that I played with LeBron when he was on the Soldiers. I remember like if people would clap, if he had clap his hands, like people were passing the ball because he's LeBron. And I remember that time, I'm like, if you get a ball, you're not getting it back. I shoot everything I touch, and he respected it though. Like he used to feed me the ball, like hit this for me, T, hit this for me. I'm not passing nobody. You already got your shine. This gym is full for you. I'm still trying to make a name for myself. So every time I'm touching, I'm shooting. Like people still to this day, they was like, you really don't care who you play with. You gonna get your shots off. I'm like, that's just me. I'm not gonna go play basketball a way that I'm not good at. Me, I'm good at scoring and shooting. So I'm not gonna go out here and try to be Q and be a facilitator and pass and like that's what he's great at. Me, I'm about putting the ball in the basket or at least give my shot off. There's a 50-50 chance it's gonna go in. If you don't shoot, you don't know if you're gonna make it. So I'm taking my risk.
I love the way you think. We couldn't play on the same team, but I love the way you think because you think like we think alike. Because it's two quotes I remember from high school. One, Eddie House said, "You can't make it if you don't shoot it." That always stuck with me. And another quote somebody told me, he said, "Hey, don't nobody get no scholarship for assists." And then the two things that stuck with me. So me and you would have just two ball hogs.
But what was crazy? How I figured, you can ball hog. I can play with a ball hog because I know how to find a way to get my shot. Because if you play with a ball hog, to all the youngsters that watch this show, if you playing with a ball hog and y'all both trying to get recruited, the best thing you can do is just always get out in front of him. Because if he's has somebody open in front of him and he don't pass the ball up, he looks bad. He looks very bad.
Yeah.
So always put yourself out in front of him. Now, if you get a ball back to him, that's on you.
Right. I agree with that.
I remember that ABCD camp, my first game. I remember because I think that my first year that I led the camp in rebound because wasn't nobody passing me the ball. I'm like, so okay, I got to get a rebound, and then when I get a rebound, just dribble up and shoot myself because ain't nobody else gonna pass to me. So okay, let's rock. Yeah. So I was like 15 rebounds. I ain't never been a double-digit rebounder in my life.
I love it, bro. You think just like me, bro. I love it. I just ain't as good as you. I ain't as good as you, but we got the same mentality.
Hey, so one of the things we do on this show, T-Time, man, we do this start bench cut, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna give you 2 start benches cut. Me and Ken. One of them was
You gonna give me
debatable.
2 of them?
2 of them,
Man,
right?
you gave everybody else 1.
I know,
It's all good.
but
It's all
no,
good.
but you came on after my guy Kellogg, and we had a lot of debate up and downs on this, right? So the first start bench cut I got to go with. These some shooters. You a shooter, so I had to put some more shooters than you miss. We got P40. I'm gonna put P40 in. He go P40.
Okay.
You got Larry Guest. You watch OAL. You remember Larry Guest?
Yep.
And my guy Jamal Hill. Start bench cut.
Ooh.
That's a good one, Lo.
This is a good one. I had to start P40. I'm a bench Jamal Hill, and then I'm a cut Larry Guest. Because Larry Guest, he was a more of a, if you watch him, he had that mid range, like right inside the 3-point line jumper, like elbow area.
Uh-huh.
But P40 and Jamal Hill was more that 3 ball.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even touch the rim.
Let me get Ken's opinion on that because
Low. So I had a conversation with my wife, right? She said, if they don't ask your opinion, don't give it. I said, all right. I said, that's what I'm gonna start doing, baby.
so in Ken's opinion, because Ken played against Jamal Hill,
played against all 3 of them,
all three of these guys, and I'm again in something like this. I'm kind of lightweight neutral in this one, though, Ken. I gotta admit I'm neutral in this one, right? But I give Jamal Hill a lot of benefit of the doubt because I didn't see freshman, sophomore, junior high school playing Jamal Hill. I saw Jamal Hill playing at Arizona State, and then when we running, I don't know if you played there, Ken, but in our rec center at Arizona State, them games on Saturdays be lit, right?
We did that. Yep.
They be lit. I'm talking about you get some Arizona Cardinals coming in there, you get some Phoenix Suns coming in there, or you catch some JUCO players that played in Arizona JUCOs coming to come hoop. And I would watch Jamal Hill go to work. Like he might didn't have the Oakland plan in him when he was playing for Coach Evans on that court. But when he in that rec center court, you watching the Oakland come out of Jamal Hill in the rec, right? And he giving all these cats the business. So, I'm kind of biased on the Jamal Hill when me and Ken talk about him, right? But in a debate like this, Ken, I don't know, man.
So this is what I say.
I might got to go the opposite of you on this one. Tea time. I might gotta
start Jamal.
Nah, I think I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start LG.
I'm start LG.
And I'm a bench P40, and I will cut Jamal.
Okay.
Now you say you was gonna start Jamal.
No. That's in the other list we have. But in this list with these 3 guys, I'm gonna.
But you said shooting though. You just said shooting.
Oh, and shooting. If I'm shooting,
you said what shooter?
If we just talking about shooting, I'm starting P40, and I will bench Jamal, and I'll cut Larry.
You said shooters.
Yeah, you did say shoot. You did say shoot.
Larry know how to slash to the basket. Yeah. Larry know how to get. Larry goes and Larry gonna go get the job done. He gonna go get the job done. He gonna finish the job for me. But he go the other one for me. For you. Now we got to go with some point guards. We got to go with the guards. The guards control everything, especially to the shooter. To the shooter, guards to help you out, right? So you got Kellogg, you got Allende, and you got Quentin Thomas.
Ooh. And this like, so I'm picking them. Am I on this team?
You on this team? You're the shooter on this team.
Okay. Oh, that's tough. I think I gotta start in day. I gotta I'm start in there because I got a story about in there. Like I remember I seen him play a game in Air Maxes.
No way.
His freshman year in the OAL. They're playing against Fremont. I guess he forgot his shoes. And when I say he was killing in Air Maxes, like with his socks rolled in his shoes, like you know how we used to do it back, like killing though. I was like, wow. But I'm gonna say in-day because I play in-day soldiers too. Like I remember playing, but this Tone, Kellogg, and Q. I say I'm a bench Kellogg, and then I cut Q.
Yeah, I think we agree.
Because Kellogg, he
can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong. I think Kellogg was a little bit better defensively than Q. You know, I really don't like to play defense, so you know, Tone could take up some of that slack.
Hey, but what kind of guard was Tone? Like, was Tone the passing guard, or was Tone the scoring guard as well?
Tone was both. Because remember, he played with guys that he had to keep into the game. It just wasn't like a Tone show, because they had a nice one of the not talked about people who was nice on his team was Luis Polito. Mm-hmm. People forget about him. Like he was like the point guard on that team, and he was cold. He was cold, real nice pull up. So, but Tone knows how to facilitate. Because I remember me, Tone, and Q, we played in the it was a North Cal versus SoCal game. It was at Cal. Like, and they had like the LA team. They had Darrell Wright. They had Nick Young, Robert Swift, Jordan Farmer. Like basically, 7 players went to the league, and we ended up beating them by 25.
Wow.
But yeah, Tone facilitates, but he can get a bucket when he wants to too.
Ken, how would you go with that start bench cut?
Kellogg, Allende, Quentin?
Yeah.
Allende, Kellogg, Quentin. I'm gonna start Allende, bench Kellogg, cut Quentin.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a tech guy. Yeah, we're gonna leave it at that.
I mean, I played with Allende.
What's yours? What you gonna go with? You gotta throw your input too.
Hey man, see, I can't. I'm a tech guy, man, but I'm a start Allende. I'm a bench Q, and I'm a cut Kellogg.
But see, I played with Allende, and dude, his intangibles are just off the hook.
Bro. So my thing with Q was, and as I told, Q was required to do less because he had more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We talk about that all the time on the show.
Right.
So as we talking about that, take a look at your laptop one time.
Yeah.
Top 25. Look over them names for the top 25. From that era, we going from 95 to 2004, right? That's the list.
Yeah.
25 with a few honorable mentions on there as well, right?
Yeah.
The list created some noise. You know how a list is. It's opinionated. It's me and Ken opinion.
Yeah.
So we're not saying our opinion is the end all be all, and we're not trying to take away from nothing. No one feel they done as our opinion, but our list was heavily scrutinized from guys in your era, from guys in my era, to guys before our era. Was heavily scrutinized.
What was the biggest thing that was scrutinized about it?
The biggest thing was scrutinized was, one, people feel Keith Wheelwright shouldn't have been on the list because he didn't get to play in a high school career because he was ineligible. But everybody that got on here said, you know, Keith was a dog, he was a baller. But this list should have been for people that put the time in the classroom to get on this list. So that's one.
I can respect that, but if Keith would have played, he would have been the LeBron of the era. Keith was tough.
That's why we made the exception.
But that's why the exception came in.
But I can see where they're coming from though.
Yeah. So
that's like you put somebody into the NBA Hall of Fame that somehow right before they got drafted, something happened. They just ventured off to something else.
We get it. We
get it.
Yeah. We got that. The other one that's there was Quentin Thomas, not on the list.
Armando
not on the list. And we have my guy, Deshaun Freeman, as an honorable mention, or is Freeman on the list?
Honorable mention.
He honorable mention.
So we have these
So
three
Austin
right here.
Nichols is debatable.
Austin Nichols was debatable.
So,
I actually had somebody. I'll remain anonymous.
so
I
you
actually had
guys
somebody
even
tell me
have
yesterday
Mondo
Ray
on honorable
Young was
mention.
questionable.
Who?
You got,
Yeah.
Hold
Go
on,
ahead.
time out. Hold on. Who said them curse words, Ken?
I won't say his name, but somebody called me yesterday and said Ray Young was questionable.
No way.
That's
No
what
way.
I said.
No way.
I was like, bro, I can't even really like entertain this.
Hey, now what you were saying, TP?
Mondo's not even on this list.
Mondo not on the list.
He's not even honorable mention.
Quentin not on the list as an honorable mention either.
But mind you, honorable mention could go on forever. I just got tired of putting people on there. It was just like, look, it's just like
No,
anybody could be
You
honorable.
put, hold on. You put. How can you put? Does it say Chris Oakes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what mine.
How can you put him on before Mondo?
No, that's honorable mention. That's what I'm saying. I could have just put everybody, but I just got tired
Oh,
of putting names.
okay.
Yeah.
So actually,
Keith-
top 25, the main one was Keith. They had an issue with.
And Austin.
No one had an issue with Brandon Payton. No one had an issue with Brandon Payton, but because Frank Alaco was on our list, actually, was he, Ken? Was Frank Alaco?
Frank Alaco was honorable mention, but Frank Alaco was actually on the original list until we started reaching out to some of the older guys, and they were like, "Nah, BP." But I'm starting to think some of that was politics.
A popularity thing, like. So what you're saying is, Ken, is
Frank Alaco was a dog. That's what I'm saying.
No, but what you're saying is Frank Alaco had the popular vote, but
BP had the electoral.
BP won the electoral vote on it, right? We got it, man.
Man, I don't know. This list kind of suspect.
Okay, let's hear it.
Let's talk about it.
Because
who you feel should come off to put someone else on?
Because we can't just keep extending it. Bro, that's the second time we heard that.
I seen Marshawn play a lot. He was solid. Because top 25, I'm just thinking about, like, I put Armando on before Marshawn or Q on before Marshawn. Because we talking about what they did in high school, right? What they
just
did
high
in
school.
OEL.
High school.
Just high school.
Come on. Y'all tripping.
Hey, that's not the first time we heard that. Big bro, they calling for you, big bro.
Hey,
I remember. Man, Ray Young wasn't like that to me either.
Ooh.
So he's coming up with the claim that someone. Ken, you got who's the anonymous?
I can't tell you who, bro. I can't tell you who.
Text me the anonymous.
I text you, but I can't say it on air because it'd be like they hating, and I can't put them out there like that. But
text me. I will say it on air. This is the Wrestling Podcast.
I was one of them. I'm Stephen A. I can't reveal my sources, man. We can't do that.
This is so anybody watching.
I put it to you. I say this. This is as much as I say. They went to St. Joe's and played with him.
So listen. So here's the guys right here. This is public service announcement. Disclaimer: if you text low and you text me a list, whether it's football or basketball, I'm bringing it to the Wrestling Podcast, and we gonna let the public be the judge of whatever statement be made.
I got to hear from Tim. Ray Young wasn't all that. High school. Now, once he got to UCLA and stuff, it was like, but just the St. Joe's Ray Young.
Like I remember, I used to go to all like high school games. Pop took me to see him play, and I remember the hype. He had big hype, but when I went to see him play, I wasn't really I didn't lead there like, man, I want to be like him when I get to this level. When I start hooping in high school, like me and Ray Cool, I see him around like he's solid. He could jump, but he wasn't like that to me.
And
that
could be a changing of the era too, Ken, because sometimes and I saw, like we talked with what's the name, how we saw the evolution of these players as well. Like we watch him go from 12-year-old baseball Ray to playing at Montero to next thing you know he's in the newspaper with a whole bunch of shoes around him, and he's this guy. But it's debatable. I mean, if you have a teammate of his, we ain't gonna say his name because I don't know who he is, saying this, it's something they witnessed, right? Something they witnessed, or to say, or you can make like sometimes that first impression thing, like we talked about with Quinn Thomas, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Now I saw the game Quinn Thomas versus Deshaun Freeman at in high school. You know, Deshaun Freeman got the better of Quinn that game, but that's not to say Quinn wasn't good. It's just from what I saw with that game, it was like Deshaun Freeman was better. Like as T-Time just said, what he saw from Ray, he didn't leave like this motherfucker is the best in the nation, top two. No, it wasn't that type of party when T-Time saw it. So Ken, it maybe it's some validity. If anyone else watching, man, if y'all feel Ray Young was a little overhyped or felt one, man, let us know in the comments when we drop this episode.
So the dude that said it said exactly what T-Time said. Like he had hops and all that. He actually sent me a scouting report from another team during that year.
Oh wow, that's serious.
And the scouting report said overrated, can jump, crowd pleaser, but can't shoot, can't dribble left, and will stand around and watch the game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, who are these people that have the scouting report from 1998? Like my level of
hey, that's a long time.
Well, if you were on the team, you might be you might be saving it for yourself.
Yeah, but my level of organization wasn't that good. Man. Like I don't have nothing. I don't have nothing left. Right? Hey, well, who? Anybody else on that list you feel should have? You know.
Listen, suspect kind of all the way around, man. Some names I didn't really. I don't know, man.
Who you think should be on the list other than Q and Mondo? Because I definitely respect those two names. But other than Q and Mondo, who you think, like, bro, how did you leave them off?
Shit, I'm trying to think about shit. Where's CG?
No way. Top 25?
CG? No,
not top 25. He was really good, but not top 25.
Man, okay.
Oh, over Ray Young?
But, man, maybe y'all seen a different Ray Young.
I was thoroughly impressed with St. Joe's Ray Young.
Like I went and seen him play. He had the good 2 to 3 dunks, but
and that was it.
Probably had like 12 points.
That's what, bro. You and the dude I talk to must be partners because that's exactly what he said.
When I look at high school, like if you're one of those guys in high school, unless you're like in the Q situation to where you just there to be a point guard, facilitate. But Q scored his senior year, so when he had to score, he did. Mm-hmm. But like if you're that guy on the team and you give me 12. I can't respect that. It's not in high school.
That's what old boy said. He said he had 34 against Piedmont, Kennedy, Richmond.
Not against
Vallejo. But when they play Vallejo, when they play Fremont, when they play, 12
De La Salle.
Yeah, De La Salle. You'd be like, yeah. But I said, okay, was it 12 out of the 40 points? Or was it 12 out of the 60 to 80 points? Because that's a big difference.
Y'all don't even have D. Nelson on here.
No, East Bay.
It was East Bay. It was East Bay. Hey, but so forget the list. We know the list. The list is suspect. Some people could be removed and stuff like that. Let's get into this college thing, man, because you chose. I'm gonna put it up for you. You chose to come be a part of the Sun Devil fraternity, right? What brought that choice about, man? What made you pick Arizona State?
So I remember when I used to tell everybody who would listen, man, because at that time wasn't nobody like Leon was having the buzz. Leon Ainde was having the buzz where college coaches was coming to see them. Because I remember we was hooping at O'Dowd, open gym with Lou Ritchie, and I never forget. I walked in, and I seen Lou Olson and Billy Donovan, who was at Florida at the time, in the gym just sitting in the bleachers. And he's like, yeah, they here to see Ainde. I'm like, oh, it's serious in here. It's some real stuff. Like where coaches coaches do this? Like it was new to me. So I'm like, okay. So like we playing. So Arizona State started. Let me backtrack. I said the first school offered me, I'm committing because I'm not gonna play with it. I see it's like ain't nobody really from Oakland getting like going to college out here, or you going to junior college, but ain't nobody really going to no D1s like that. So first one, I'm gonna commit. We go to Texas. We playing against the Illinois Fire. I go off with 44 in the wind. Walking out the gym, Illinois offer. So I'm like, cool, I commit. I'm committing to you right now. I take it. So I call my dad. I'm like, Pops, I just committed to Illinois. They just offered me. I'm going there. He's like, what you mean? I'm like, they just walking out the gym. The coach said he got a scholarship for me. Offered me to come there. I said yes. He like, nah. You gotta wait. You know, you gotta go see the schools. You get to go see 5 schools, and you get to pick the best one. So I end up taking it back. But they were still into it. And then so I just kept playing. Then Arizona State started coming around like tough. Like they were showing up because that year I played football too. Mm-hmm. So they come to football practices. Like they showing up at anything they can show up to. So they come to a home visit. So I'm like, what's up with the position? Because I always looked at the rosters. They had like my guy Steve Moore come back. He played the 2, but they didn't really have no 3. So I'm like, they got the 3 spot open because the other dude, they said he was moving to the 4s, and then Maul Hill just left. Like he just finished. So I'm like, okay, solid. So I'm like, are you going like is the position open for like to compete for the position or what's going on? Like, yeah, every job is compete for. The only one who sold is the Steve Moore, he's at the 2, and Idiagu's at the 5. Everything else is compete for. So I'm like, okay, cool.
Hold on, Tim. Who was the point guard? Was that Jason Braxton? Was Jason
Braxton?
Yeah,
Jason Braxton, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and then so they talked to them when that went through. Then Oregon came in. Oregon came in the house, but Oregon came in like I remember Ernie Kent. He was like he got 1 scholarship for 2 players. So it's either me or Malik Harrison. So he basically saying he's gonna take the first one that chooses. Mm-hmm. So the week I go to Arizona State, come back. Me and Q go to Arizona State at the same time. I come back. I take a visit to UNC Charlotte. I was like, oh, I can't do that. Come back. But I think that week, no. And then I come back, and then I go to DePaul for 1 too. But DePaul is top. When I say that freezing out there was different. Like it was that was my first time being in like somewhere where it's that cold at that time. Like, and I went out there just with a hoodie, like a Gap hoodie. I had a Gap hoodie on. You know how people often wear the Gap hoodie. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So like it's freezing, but like the school, everything was cool. Like the facilities, awesome. So during that week, I guess Malik Harrison took his trip to Oregon, and I think he committed on the spot out there. So, and then my trip to Oregon was the following week. So they hit me like, yeah, he committed. So and at that time, like Pops has just passed, it was like 3 months ago at that time. So I'm like, dang, so should I just rock with who had the most communication with Pops? And then so now I'm at Hercules. So I'm playing football again. I'm playing football so I can just get eligible quicker because I still have to do the hearing. So I wouldn't have to miss no games for basketball season. So I'm practicing football. Miami comes along. Miami shows up to football practice like, hey, you have a scholarship. We want to get in. What's going on with your recruitment? We want to get involved. So I'm like, okay, cool. So they set up a visit for me. But at this time, like it's still other schools calling. I'm just tired. I just want to concentrate like my senior year. So I call the coach at Arizona State. I'm like, I'm just gonna commit to you guys. And then I went from there. And they're like, what's going on? Heard you're supposed to go to Oregon, and heard they knew all the schools that was coming. Like, I'm like, damn, y'all all talking like that?
Yeah.
And then so they like, why do you want? I'm like, I just want to get it over with. I'm like, but if you guys don't want to bring me in, it's all good. I just wait till after my high school season. Because what's crazy, a week before that, we had an open gym at Hercules, and Eddie Sutton had came out to see me. And that's when he was at Oklahoma State. And I kind of I throw myself under the bus on this one. I kind of I played him off to the left. So I was like, Oklahoma State, I ain't tripping off going there. And I think that's one regret I have about I should have really listened to that man and gave him my full attention. Because I probably could have ended up there in the Big 12 on some whole different hype.
They just came off of Final Four around that time, right?
Yep, like 2 years after that, they went to the Final Four.
Yeah, because Tremaine was out there.
It was crazy. Illinois went to the. If I would have stayed with Illinois, I would have played against Q in the national championship.
Is that the Illinois with Darren?
Yeah, with D. Will, D. Brown.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. They was nice. They was nice.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yep. So
man, so you become a Sun Devil, and I don't know what it was like, kid from Oakland when you got there, but as a kid from Oakland walking onto that campus, my life changed when I walked on that campus. Right, totally different scene. Never been out of Oakland before, and I went on recruit trip and stuff, but I didn't live out of Oakland before and had to adapt to a different environment. So I go to Arizona State, first time there, my life changed. The different people, I'm looking at clean streets, right? I wasn't used to seeing clean streets is a big thing for me. I wasn't used to seeing clean streets. So Arizona had a whole bunch of clean streets, and I'm like, this shit is different, man. Like, what was it like when you finally got there?
Well, I remember when I first got there, it was because I got there for summer school, so basically it wasn't nobody in the city. It was just like athletes. Mm-hmm. So I landed the first my guy Steve Moore, Maul Hill was still staying because he was going grad school. So we go to a volleyball party. This is my first time because I'm thinking house party like that. We go to an Oakland, then house party out there. I go to the house party like this, man. It's crazy. I'm like, oh man, this is off the hook. This is what it's gonna be like. I think it was more, but the clean streets, and I think it wasn't that many. I was kind of shocked because the only black people was the athletes. And at this time, I still had grill in my mouth, I'm gold teeth top and bottom, I had diamonds and fangs and everything. So I'm so people looking at me like you ain't supposed to be around here. I'm walking up and down So it was kind of shocking. I had to catch myself with how I talk to people and greet people and stuff like that. So I was it shocked me for sure.
I feel like those are places when you go to college, it's the first time you can let your shoulders relax.
In a way, Ken, but for me it was like I felt I was looked at as if everybody knew I was there as an athlete because I went there different. I went there as hot. I got a tank top on. I got ghetto life tattoos on my arm, and people look at me like, hey, he's an athlete, like he don't belong. But to back up on what he said about a volleyball party, hey, so we used to work out and see volleyball girls, and they in their backpack, they get their Adidas backpack, they get their stuff, they walk around. But then you see them at this party, and you like, yo, hey Ken, you gotta edit this out. I can't let this part. You go cut this part. But it was a life changer, man. So what was it like when you got to play? And a lot of the guys in your era was actually still playing in college. You got, like you say, Q was at UNC North Carolina, but in the Pac-10 or Pac-12 at that time, Allende and them is at Cal, right? What was it like when y'all got to play each other, Cal versus Arizona State?
Man, what was crazy? Because I remember we started the year because I mean we had been going through practice, we had scrimmages, and and I was bust because I felt like I was competing for the 3 spot, and I felt like I was winning, and then we get to the exhibition game, and he named the starting 5. And he don't name my name, and I'm like, I felt some type of way about that. So I'm like, okay, maybe he just wanna give dude a chance to see what he got exhibition game. So exhibition game go. I still do solid the time he put me out there. Regular season come. he really don't play me like that. So I'm like, man, hold on, man, what's going on? The next game come, we go to Vegas. We go to Vegas, we play. He don't play me again. So I'm like, oh, all right. So I'm still playing cool. I mean, cause I ain't gonna do nothing just to mess up everything. So we take a trip. We go from Vegas to Temple. So coach like, you didn't play in the game yesterday, so you gonna do these suicides on the side while everybody else like getting shots up. I'm like, yeah, I don't think you know who you recruited, because I'm not just running no suicides just to be running. So you want me to run because I didn't play? I'm like, yeah, it's bad, bro. I ain't running, bro. I'm sitting down. I'm like, it's do what you want to do. I'm like, man, I can leave. I'll leave right now. I transfer right now, or I won't play here. So I sat down. I didn't do nothing. So he just shook his head and walked off. So the next day we played against Temple. Like, I'm the first sub off the bench. So we end up playing. I remember I had a nice little layup on ESPN where I went to the other side of the rim, got the little left-hand layup. And then I remember shaking hands. Coach Chaney, he was like, man, I don't know what's wrong with this guy. I don't know why he's not playing you. I'm like, yeah, me too, coach. So after that, I went when we got back here, because Coach Evans, he always said, I got an open door. If you got something to say, come ask. So I'm like, Coach, what's up? Why I'm not playing? Just straight up. Like, I feel like I'm better than the guy that's in front of me. I think you brought in players on this team, they'll tell you that they self. His straight words, you need to wait your turn. I'm like, nah, I thought college was you play the best players play. Like I've been going hard, like since we first when we conditioned, I'm like it's either me or Jason Braxton that's first. Like I'm on weights on time, like I'm doing everything, like I'm getting extra shots in the gym. Like I'm really pushing myself. Because I know I don't like school. I'm trying to do whatever I gotta do to get up out of here. So he said, you gotta wait your turn. I'm like, Coach, when you came to my house, we didn't, like I told you, I was coming in to play. I wasn't coming in to sit on nobody's bench. Like that ain't me. I go do something else. Sure, I go play football. I know they'll take a 6'7" receiver that can run.
Yes, they will.
So he's like, nah, you just gotta wait your turn. The guy who's in front of you, because the guy who was in front of me came in with his assistant coach joined, his junior college coach joined the staff with him. So I'm like, oh, y'all was a package deal. Okay, so I was about to leave like at the halfway point, because I was talking. This was when Bob Huggins, he was still at Cincinnati. I was gonna transfer there at the midway point, but he ended up somehow. I don't know if he got fired or if he left. But I just stuck it out, and then just basically just finished the year. But yeah, that was a real tough year, because in practice every day, I know I'm better than him. I'm really going at him every day in practice, like making it known, like telling him, you can't guard me, like put somebody else on me, like, Coach, get him a sub, he need help defense. Like it was like I was going at his head, like destroying him every day, but still couldn't. And I never forget, we playing USC, like 3 players fouled out. We down, I think we down 10. It's like 2 minutes to go. I sub myself in, like he's looking at the bench to see who to put in. I jump up and just run to the table. And then like the assistant coach, like, just let him go. So I sub in, like in 2 minutes. I got 10 shots in 2 minutes in the college basketball game. But we end up losing by 2 points. Like in 2 minutes, I got 10 shots and had 10 points.
I love you, brother.
And people, my guy Steve Moore, he always laughed at me, because and that's another thing. When I went to they put me in the flex offense. I was like, man, it's too much. Screen, pop off screen again. Like that was too much for me at that time, because I was like in high school growing up, like Coach Knight, all the plays we had was for me. So I just break one way and come off the screen and do my thing. Yeah. So now I got a screen down, look, wait, see if I'm open and cross screen and run off another screen. Like, yeah, once we get to the second screen, it's over for me. So I remember the coach asked me, after this and this happened, what's the next thing you do, Tim? I'm like, well, if I catch the ball right there, I'm gonna shoot it.
I love it.
I remember my bro Steve Moore sitting right next to me. He put his head down and was in tears of laughter. He was like, I'm not laughing because I think you being funny. I'm laughing because you dead serious.
Serious, and you mean it. How'd you end up at San Jose?
So I end up at that time, like I was going through. I wasn't playing, so I stopped going to class. I was just partying. Like I go to practice and stuff and do like my workout stuff, but going to class, I go to class sometimes and finish my work, but I wasn't really. So I didn't pass my English class because I didn't turn in the final because I ended up shipping my stuff back home and I left early. So when I was because I was going to transfer, I was going to go to UTEP. Because that year I was going to go to UTEP. And then USF had got Jesse Evans, I think, and then Tone was going there. So I was going to go to USF with Mondo and Tone and them. Mm-hmm. But then my grades and stuff, that English grade, and then I still needed that grade to transfer. So then I had to go to I had to find a way to get that. And at that time, it wasn't no summer classes, no 2-week summer classes I can take. So San Jose. So I was basically I thought it was my hoop career was a wrap because I had nothing. Either I was going to go to junior college for a whole year and play, or it was going to have to shut it down. So George Nesman he was the new coach at San Jose State. I think he coached under Ben Bryant. I think he coached 1 year with Allende at Cal. He was an assistant coach. So he had a guy at Ridley College, like out there in the boonies by Fresno. So he got. Yep. So I went out there. So I just I just took classes out there. Just went to school, but didn't play. But they had like dorms and stuff out there, and they had classes where I can go take and stuff. Because at this time it's like September, like school's already started. Mm-hmm. So that was my only opportunity to where I can. So now I had to get an AA degree. So I went there, but as he told me, he was like, if I do this for you, you got to commit to San Jose State. So I'm like, yeah. At first, I'm like, nah, I'm going to go to the school, get these grades. I'm going to renege on that San Jose State. But they knew that second week I was there, they brought that letter.
So this ain't their first rodeo, brother. This ain't their first rodeo.
Yeah, because I for sure thought I was going to jump out of there.
Did you like it there? How was your career there?
Now, San Jose State was cool. It started off real well. Like coach let me go. I was doing my thing. I ended up getting like a career 3-point record up in there. Had some good games. Got to go play against Duke. Played against Michigan State. I had a solid career. Got the chance to finish my career playing a game of basketball. So don't never take that for granted.
Was DeMarcus at Duke when you played against him?
Yep, he was there.
He was there. You played against him. That was good. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that was fun. I'm sure.
Yeah. He was there.
What was there any like pro aspirations? Because like I know when I was in college, I knew I wasn't going to the league. I was like, fuck it. Did you still have aspirations, or what was your mindset?
Not for sure. Because remember, this when the pro-am was still big out here. Mm-hmm. And like some of the Warriors still used to play. Because I remember we played like Jason Richardson used to play. Like in pro-am, like I was averaging like 30, 35 in the pro-am. So people they like, you're a better pro than a college player.
That's what I see too.
Yeah. And then now that I look at it, I'm like, nah, it's just basketball. You feel me? I just gotta learn. I always tell myself I gotta learn how to be able to do what I do within the system of the plays and stuff. But now when I look at it, I can look at people like, yeah, that's why he was a great college player who got to the league and didn't do nothing.
Yep.
Or he was an okay college player, but now he's in the league and he's on. Mm-hmm. So yeah. So when people say that, when I think about that now, I be like, yeah, now I know what they was talking about. But yeah, San Jose State was cool. Like I got to play, like I said, finish out my career, and they let me play. They let me play my game, but they didn't let me. Like if I was off, it was like, yeah, you gotta sit down and start taking those shots. they weren't gonna let me keep letting them go.
When you got to San Jose State, was Marquine still there?
Nah, he had left.
He had left. Okay. So Marquine, we knew he went to San Jose State after coming back from DC.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
came back. So hey, before we wrap up, TP man, I want to hear about man the impact your dad had on you guys' life. Like I know he instilled this attitude in you. Like I'm surprised when you got to Arizona State, you didn't tell Coach Evans like, hey, check this out, partner. My dad told me if I ain't coming in starting as a freshman, I'm out of here, right? Because that was the attitude going into high school, man. But
no, that was the attitude I went in there with. But I think he told his rules was you wait your turn, because that's why I went so hard. And that's crazy you say that, because when I went into Arizona State, I had that same mentality. If I'm not starting as a freshman, I don't need to be here. And that's why I went. Like I was doing everything that I needed to do. Like, and I'm a realist with basketball. Like if dude was better than me that started from me, hey, I got to give it up, bro. You better than me. I need to work harder. But nah, I'm destroying you, bro. It's not even close. Like you don't shoot as good as me. You don't handle the ball like me. You definitely not athletic. Jump is higher than me. So what's going on?
Maybe maybe his parents was just a donor to the school. He in college now, right?
His assistant coach. His assistant
coach. So yeah, he got some ties, some political ties and booster stuff going on, man. Yeah. But like I was saying, man, because I remember your little brother, Tamarick, and how he was at baseball, and your pops and all of that, man. Dude was just raw, man. And it seemed like at that family, like that's just something that was just instilled early in you guys, man. From your pops, man. So to see how you even and to see how you even kept going after your pops passed in your senior year, that changed a lot of people's direction on which way they gonna go in life. Like, hey, you know what? My pops died. I'm used to him being here. F this shit. Like, I'm gonna go now. I'm really about to do me. Like, what was it like, man? Just having your pops around and instill those things in you.
I used to, like, sometimes I'm like, man, Pop, I know y'all probably heard stories like Pops was hard on me. Like Pops was hard on me growing up. But I think it's like he seen like all the potential I had. So he wasn't gonna let it get shifted in the bad way. He was gonna keep me focused. And it was days that I didn't want to go to the gym. It was days where like we'd be at the gym. I missed probably like 7 shots in a row. He'd get mad, throw the ball at my head. Because he just, but it was all with love. And I think like he put that in me, and then he put it in my brother. Cause I tell people, he was like, why your brother gonna play hoop? Pops went so hard with you with hoop. I'm like, what y'all don't know, Pops, when my brother was born, he said, your little brother gonna be a football player. He ain't gonna play basketball like you. And this was like when he was like 6 months old. I'm like, Pops, how you know that? What if he grows 6'8", 6'9", taller than me? How you gonna be a football player? But you look at him now, little stocky running back over there at Eastern Washington. Still, this is senior year coming up. So, but yeah, I mean, he knew. Like, it's kind of like he was a prophet. Like he knew what to do and things to do and what was coming for the future before like anybody even thought about it. So yeah, so everything he put, like I remember the pastor always said at the funeral, he said my dad wouldn't have left right now if he didn't know I was ready to take over and jump off the porch. So, and then all the stuff that he put me through growing up, working out in the gym, being in the gym from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., can't leave, just got to shoot. All the times that people thought he was like getting on me too hard. He was getting me ready because he knew at some point he wasn't going to be there for me. So I had to, jump off the porch and stand on my own 2 feet. So that's how I always look at it. And then, so I just try to, cause my little brother, he like they mom, my dad's wife, like she took over like my little brother, little sister, and she did a hell of a job. They both, I think, almost graduated college, and he's doing this thing. So she did that on her own. So I always commend her on that. But I think he put that in him from an early age too. So I think he's just living on. And then basically just our dad's vision, he's basically just putting it on the forefront.
Absolutely, man.
Beautiful.
We talked to a lot of guys, man, on this episode who talked about their dads, man.
Yeah.
Fred Shavy, then Josh Shavy, they was Fremont guys with their dads. Arthur Young, his dad. Who else we had on here?
Frank Knight and his dad.
Frank Knight and his dad. We still see Frank
Two
Knight
Bob and his dad.
So a lot of these guys, and it instilled in them. And one of the great things I tell Ken all the time, because not only what their fathers to their kids, but they inherited a whole village of other kids that they help father and mentor and look out for as well, man. So that's one of the things that we cannot ever take away, from what it is that these dads did. Like, we can have a selfish dad that's just be like, you know what? I'm only go work out Tea Time and Ken, and even though this is partner that he go be with, I ain't taking him to work out too. I don't want him to be better than my son, so we gonna leave him here. We didn't have them dudes. We had dudes that looked out for everybody. Man.
That's how it was with everybody I grew up. Because I remember Pops, like, man, I remember he got a van because, like, we used to be packed out van. Like, he picking kids up, dropping kids off here, dropping kids off there. And the same thing with I think Coach Howard did the same thing. I remember Coach Howard, he used to buy kids who didn't have, like, the good financial situation at home. He used to get kids shoes, basketball shoes to play in, just off the college. Like, he didn't want nothing back. It's just that's the people who we grew up with, and that's people who I tell people all the time, because I remember I always talk to Coach Lou Ritchie at Bishop Odell all the time, because I remember I used to go work out with him when after school at Fremont. I think it was the 40L or something. I remember I went to work out. He was like, "How you get here?" I'm like, "Man, I caught the bus." He's like, you walked up the 98th hill? Like, man, you wasn't scared or nothing? I'm like, why not, man? I'm minding my own business. I'm coming to work out. And he was like, man, I look at you different now from doing that. That showed me, like, you really want to come and work out, especially. And then in these days, if it ain't easy to get to, ain't no kid gonna go get on no bus to go work out or stuff like that. So, yeah, I always tell Lou, and Lou used to always give me a ride back home, everything like that. So, like I'm saying, I grew up with everybody helping me out, from the Pico Wilburns to Jerry Hayes and Tim West, the Horace, man, Howard Gamble, Mike Tapman. Like everybody all had a role in everything, all the success that I had. Because it just wasn't my dad. Like, he had friends that always looked out. Brian Stanley. Like, he had a whole bunch of people that looked out for me as coming up and stuff like that.
Hey, Tea Time, man, we appreciate you taking some time out and giving us your
story. It's all man, good. It's all
like good. I said, I didn't know the Tea Time story. I just heard about it. So, man, a lot of people that don't know will actually take time to hear this story as well, man. But before we sign off, man, give us some parting words one time, Tea Time.
Oh, I got to give y'all 2 words. My daughters told me I had to shout them out if they was gonna allow me to be on y'all show. So Phoenix and Raven, I'm shouting y'all out. Y'all better be doing good in school on that computer. Love y'all. But like all I'm gonna say to people who watch this, all the people that I name, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all for doing this. Letting youngsters hear stories of the old cats, of what we went through and coming up, and just talking about stuff, bringing some back stuff. I think it's good that we bring back old stuff and talk about it and things of that sort. So, the youngsters can see what it was back then, and then how they can, try to succeed us and things of that sort. So, yeah, I appreciate y'all for doing this. Appreciate y'all for having me on. And then at the end of the day, man, don't stop grinding, like my little slogan from County University, which is my training program. Make that grind y'all best friend, man. Make that grind y'all best friend.
Tell our followers, man, where we can find the sweaters at. Where can we find the clothing at? Where can we find it at?
Oh, the website coming out January 2021. But if y'all trying to just cop some gear, just hit my DM at 1Tea Time on Instagram, and it's all good. And I'll send it right to your doorstep.
All right, so me and Ken definitely got to put an order in for some Counter University's gear, man.
Yes, definitely. Sir. Appreciate it. Yeah, just let me know.
All right, man. Appreciate you, Tea Time.
It's all good.
All right,
Thank you, man.
Appreciate y'all having me.
Wow.
All right. Hey Ken, man, I'm going to go and declare, man. Something caught my eye when we were naming them 2 5-on-5 games, and we named a bunch of D1 universities, man.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think that era turned the tide for OAL basketball, man. Because we talked before that, and we talked about how we were good Oakland schools, but was not getting the look and from the colleges as well. And then we named 10 people that went big time.
Big time D1.
It wasn't like they were going to UC San Diego for basketball. They were going
big
UConns and ABCD camps, and we walking out the gym with offers from teams that go to the Final Four and national championships. So, like, man, that era kind of like where it turned the tide in OAL basketball, and things like that. So definitely shout out to that era. Them guys, all of them guys, man, they all put some work in. And I just tell everybody, man, everything we say on here is definitely opinionated opinion from me and Ken and the Rec Center. And sometimes we agree and sometimes we disagree, but it's just our opinion, man. So this is what it is, man. Shout out to T-Time for that dope enlightened interview, man. One thing I would love to see, though, man, is one-on-one game, Ken. One-on-one, man. P40 versus T-Time. Like, anyone stop the other one from scoring?
I'm gonna go with Tim.
Is it because of the height? Like, why are you?
I think it's because of the height. I think Tim is more inside outside. Like Tim, I think Tim can post Paul up. I think Tim can stretch it farther out as well. Like Paul can shoot the three, but Tim can shoot the deep three.
What about the offensive end? Because T-Time said he don't like playing defense. Do that give P40
but he ain't gonna miss.
Do that give P40 an easy 40 though?
Hey, the first person to miss lose.
First person to miss lose.
First person to miss lose.
Shout out to Counter University. Shout out to They Sleep We Grind. P40 gets 40. Dude, man, I would love to see those type of. They do this new thing in the gym, Ken, where it's not like one-on-one. It's like, somebody score. If you get scored on, you come out, you keep the ball, you don't, the next person run out.
Yeah, I played that at the gym the other day. It was weird to me, though.
Yeah, no. But I would love to see that with the T-Time, P40, and Larry Guest type of thing. Because now we talk about Larry Guest ain't got you to jump, or he can go to the hole.
Yeah.
Like, those type of games I want to see, man. So
yeah, that's
why didn't do that we could have made this type of stuff happen.
Hey, I think what I'm gonna do once we drop this one, when we drop this interview, bro, what if we did a top 10 Fremont athletes from like 95, so like from Frank's era to Tim's era or whatever right after that, or whenever it kind of got dried out.
So one of the things that is going to be opinionated, because they're going to say, hey, how the hell y'all going to talk about Fremont when none of y'all went to Fremont, right?
It's just so much talent, though.
We just watched it. We did, man. Like, we got people that don't even get talked about in Fremont thing. Dub C. Brewer. Like, Dub C. Dub C was really good, but we don't never talk about
Marcus Tyson.
We talk about football. We don't bring Dub C into the Fremont thing. So
Kareem Tony.
But if you do it though, like we go to that era, it's like the whole.
And we got to cap it at like 10, so that some people get left out. And then
but is Fremont a basketball school in that era, or are there a football school in that era? It's kind of like
definitely basketball.
So the basketball players have 7 people, and
I don't know though.
Football have 3.
I mean, you got to throw Gino in there. You got to throw. I mean, like in consideration, right? You got to throw Gino in there. You got to throw Kareem Tony in there. You got to throw Tamarcus Tyson in there. You got to throw.
You got Lou Fisher. You got James Thompson.
Thompson, Frank Knight, Calvin Criddle.
So is it an even split, or would one sport have more?
I think basketball would have more.
So one of the guys from that Fremont era, we don't never talk about him because he didn't have a football career there, but because he chose the rap route, right? But I was there. Fucking Keek the Sneak.
I remember Keek from PAL.
No, he played with BW. Birds. He played with Birds Ward.
He did say that in the song. He
played with Birds Ward, right?
Babe Ruth. I remember Keek from
played
Babe
with Birds Ward, right? Him, Quincy, Cardell.
Because he used to be at Big Ev House.
So all of them was at Ev House, right?
Yeah.
Right on 38th, right?
Yeah.
So, but Keek the Sneak at linebacker, right next to Beatty at linebacker, it was kind of like wait, they were doing.
Keek could play. He was good.
Keek could play line.
I didn't know that.
Play.
See, I knew Keek from baseball. I didn't know he played football.
At that football, but Keek was the not serious about it type of thing. He could go make 4 tackles and write a rap after it, and all said is done. Right? He's shooting videos for shit instead of practice during them times. So Keek can definitely play, man. But that's a great episode with Kareem. I mean, not Kareem Tony. You got me thinking Kareem Tony with T-Time, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. We want to say special thanks to Tim T-Time Pierce for the Rec Center Podcast. Actually, you can follow us on Instagram at the Rec Center Podcast. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Rec Center. I'm Kenny Edwards for Lorenzo Parham. Remember, ain't no hood like fatherhood. We out.